You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards talking, balls rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Battered Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. $3.99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 416 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Gannett, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
We're on the way to the finals. It is going to be a huge game.
You been in a good mood today?
Huge. Yeah, I'm in a good mood. Why? You're going to crush it?
No, I'm just saying I've been in a good mood also. We're in the final.
Oh,
it's all
yes.
good. I'm in a good mood.
You got your purple on?
No, Stancy has
What?
purple in their little profile thing there. So shout out to Stancy, repping that Orlando. I'm ready for Chris to say nonsense and for Danny to get mad. Not mad.
Absolutely. I speak the truth.
I thought it was really weird because people were saying that I sounded like I was unhappy. I don't remember why anybody would think that I sounded unhappy yesterday. So, Chris, how are you feeling 24 hours later? Obviously, we expected all the Miami gets help from the refs and blah, blah, blah. How are you feeling just 24 hours later after seeing all that?
I mean, Orlando can literally suck it, right? Like Orlando fans can just eat a bag because they can cry harder online. They're so mad. Look, Tadeo Allende making a guest appearance in the chat. Shout out to you. You made it here. I haven't made a goal yet in a while, buddy.
So we were talking about how Miami online. We were talking about how Miami is the only team this year that hasn't taken a penalty kick. For everybody that keeps saying that Miami keeps getting helped by the MLS, I was looking it up. And if Miami finishes the season without any penalty kicks, they would be the 10th team in MLS history to do so. And I have to take a closer look. But just looking overall, right, just across the top, right, I did it quickly over the last 10, 15 minutes. It looks like, at least up until now, the 10 teams that I've looked at, the majority of those teams that took no PKs during those seasons were some of the worst attacks that year. They had some of the least amount of goals. That's why they didn't get any PKs, because they weren't in their final third very often. They didn't have a lot of scoring opportunities. Miami is at the moment leading in goals per game because they put themselves in those positions. They're constantly in the final third. Luis Suarez is constantly diving. If Miami wanted to, if the MLS wanted to help Miami, Luis Suarez gives them plenty of opportunities because Luis Suarez dives left and right. So I just wanted to put that out there because I keep seeing that throughout the day. I've been seeing it online everywhere. So I just wanted to say that real quick before we move on.
I mean, not only that, but there's other players on our team that also, I don't want to say dive, but they do show a little bit of theatrics where if you want to give them a penalty or whatever, right? I mean, it's there if people want it, but at the same time, I find it ridiculous that people are saying that it's a given that we're being handed this Leagues Cup run.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that we have gotten a lot more calls in the Leagues Cup than we have during the regular season. That's why people are calling the Leagues Cup our tournament.
I mean, look, that's just the way that the ball bounces, I guess, right? I mean, I don't know.
All right, so Leagues Cup, we are in the final. Are you excited for it, or are you just happy that we made it to the Champions Cup? Because we're qualified. That's it. We're in the round of 32. If we make it to if we win on Sunday, we will make it to the round of 16 in the Champions Cup.
Shout out to the gentleman Wake saying Llorando City with a 199 Super Slam.
Llorando City.
Keep crying, guys. Listen, Danny, I'm happy that we made it to the CCC, right? The qualification for that. But how the year's been panning out, right? I mean, we need trophies. So
Yeah,
like this is like bare minimum stuff for us.
Yeah, for what Jorge Mas and the front office and everything was trying to sell us on and promise us, I feel like any trophy that is attainable needs to be had. So I feel like getting to the final here, you kind of feel like you need to win this, because I think it would be a huge disappointment if we don't get it. So
and
even
Vamos
MLS Cup,
IMCF
yeah?
is saying MLS Cup or bust. If we don't win the League's Cup, then this is like it has to happen.
Okay,
And
but
if
even
we
if we
don't,
win the League's
then-
Cup, so if we win the League's Cup, you're okay. That's it. It's a success.
No, I told you we need
So it's-
bare
so-
minimum League's Cup.
Okay, so
and
what
then
I'm
we
saying
still
is,
need the MLS Cup.
okay, so it's MLS Cup or bust regardless. Then
Regardless, yes. Because even if we win League's Cup and Supporter Shield, I don't want a repeat of 2023. Or not
So,
really, because we won the Supporters Cup, the Supporter Shield last year.
so we still don't know the status of Jordi Alba for Sunday, but this was the starting 11 last night. Going into Sunday, it's a final. You got to put your best 11 out there. Chris, what would your starting lineup be on Sunday if you could do?
Is it a bad idea to put Rodrigo de Paul off the bench? Is that a bad idea?
That's not going to happen. That's not.
So
Don't even entertain it. It's not going to happen.
Okay, so then it's guaranteed he's a lock there, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so then essentially what we're talking about is, are we going to basically remove Bright or Baltasar? Because those are the only two movable pieces. And then you're talking about
even though I think Frey has to play, right? He earned his spot.
But we're talking about interchangeable pieces in the midfield, right? Like Ian Frey and Cello, we know that they're going to sort of swap out for each other. But Bright,
but after Ian Frey's performance against Orlando, I think that it's a lock that he plays on the final.
The only reason I would say that maybe Bright is not going to start is because they figured out, Inter Miami figured out, that Rodrigo de Paul sucks at the wing. He was kind of a non-factor essentially last game.
Okay, and what does that have to do with?
So that's the only reason I would say that. Well, no, forget about Ian Frey. I know he's going to start.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, you have me really confused right now. Okay, let's just forget everything. What's your starting 11? Don't worry about it. I don't want to go in circles. What's your starting 11?
Oh my God, but you're jumping all over the place. And my starting 11 would be Ian Frey is for sure going to start at the right back. I would stay with this same starting 11. The only change I would make is maybe putting in Segovia for Baltasar and then making that interchange in the middle of the game.
Okay. I don't know. Baltasar looked really good. But much like I was telling you, I don't think Rodrigo de Paul gets benched. I think that no, you know what? This is gonna be the 11. This will be the 11.
But the problem is in the midfield, Danny, because if you want Rodrigo de Paul to work at his most comfortable, he would have to be somewhere in the middle. And to do that, you're going to have to sacrifice Bright, who's been playing phenomenal. So if you do that, then you got to bring in Tadeo Allende. He's going to take the right wing, take Bright out, and then essentially you have Rodrigo de Paul at a comfortable space.
No, you could go with a more centralized 4-4-2, right? You don't have to have Baltasar and Rodrigo de Paul out so wide. I don't know. I think that it's going to look exactly the same.
There's the same exact lineup, same exact formation, everything.
And unless Jordi Alba is injured and we see Noah Allen there, I think that this is the same exact lineup. So,
yeah, I could see that as well.
And Tadeo Allende apparently doesn't think Segovia is better than him, but I disagree.
Yeah, taking an L Tadeo.
So we've played the Seattle Sounders once in our history, back in 2022. I don't remember the score.
Undefeated. 1-0.
Undefeated.
We beat them.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yes, we did.
Seattle's not an easy place to win, but 2022, that was, and was it towards the latter part of the season?
Hold on, I'll tell you right now. This was April 16, 2022.
Oh, And early in the season, back when Higuain was trash. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was Campana got the start on that. We had Robert Taylor and Jean Mota playing up top in the middle. Robbie Robinson left wing, Lassiter right wing, Gregory in the CDM role, Mabika Lowe, Yedlin.
We've come a long way.
McVay,
Yedlin, a Seattle legend. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, this is going to be the second time we play Seattle. And for those that weren't aware, we'll be playing Seattle again in a couple of weeks because they come down on a random Tuesday, September 16th. So much like the Nashville final for the League's Cup, where we played them in the final and then we played them again a couple weeks later in the regular season, we're going to have the same situation with Seattle. So to talk to us about Seattle, we do have a guest. We have Nick from the Scuttlebutt podcast, Seattle Sounders. So let me bring Nick on here. What's going on, Nick? How are you doing, sir?
Hey, thank you for having me. It's good to see you again. Chris, nice to meet you. Just to give you a quick little bit of context on that last time we played, that was right in the middle of our Champions League run. We won Champions League in May of 2022. So that lineup featured, taking a look at that lineup featured literally no starters.
Nice.
Did not have a single starter in our lineup on that one. I think we were in the middle of at that time in April. We would have been in the semifinals against New York City FC, I believe.
Nice. All right, so we're up 1-0.
You're bringing context, and I don't like it, Nicholas. I don't like it.
Oh, I'll have some more for you though. Make this a little interesting. So we'll get there.
All right, so Seattle. First time we have a Seattle guest on this show on the Batter Fans. Before we get started, I kind of
let the boys be boys.
That's it.
We got 3 super signs we didn't put up. Justin Blair with the 199 super sign says, "Doesn't matter. I'm told by fans that it's rigged."
Shout out to Justin.
And then we got Kyle R with a $5 super slam says Seattle only has one healthy DP, a third choice striker, and second choice left back due to red cards. What would it mean for Inter Miami to lose this?
I mean, it would be pretty bad as it is, but with all those, even though Seattle's doing the whole next man up thing and they're doing it pretty well, it still would be a terrible loss for Miami. Shout out to Kyle R. We appreciate that super slam.
And then we got one more. John Paul Terrazas 199 super slam says, if we win, it's rigged. If we lose, we sick.
Suck.
Lose.
Yep, we suck. It's a lose-lose situation for us. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is what it is. So before we get into the Seattle Miami thing, it's still fresh in everybody's mind. And everybody's talking about, Miami gets helped by MLS, blah, blah, blah. So, Nick, I come to you, somebody that is far away from Orlando and Miami, just watching the games. Your thoughts on yesterday's game?
Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting game. I know we talked about in the previews that I had concerns about non-US Mexico Canada refs, and I think we saw a little bit of that play out. Very physical game between the two teams. I do think that was a penalty for Orlando in the second half there. He steps right into it. But out and I mean, goals change games, so that's just unfortunate. But it's also kind of the way, that's what it takes to play in CONCACAF. Anything CONCACAF related, that's just the name of the game. But right up until that penalty was scored and the red card, that was unfortunate. That really took the let the battle be fought on the field out of the game, because I thought I would have liked to have seen that final 10 minutes 11v11.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is the first yellow card was the yellow card that was really an awful call. I mean, obviously, and I'm not trying
we had that happen to us earlier this year, and it's like wow, but that's the way it goes. When you're on a yellow, you can't do that in the box. You can't. You can't.
Yes.
I thought it was a clear yellow. It's just he was already on a yellow, so that was That was a dumb move.
Yeah.
So back to Seattle. Seattle, I've said it to you. I've said it plenty of times on the MLS show. I don't know if I've ever said it on this show. I consider the Seattle Sounders the Pittsburgh Steelers of the MLS. You don't really know why or how, but they're always going to be in the mix in the end, one way or another. And they're doing it again. They had a rough start to the year. All of a sudden, Jordan Morris goes down. Jesus Ferreira isn't living up to what they hoped he would. Areola goes down. And everybody's like, that's it. Seattle is plummeting. And next thing you know, they're surging. They have a decent run in the Club World Cup where everybody thought that they would get destroyed in the group of death. They didn't win, but they fought, and they almost beat Botafogo. They lost 2-1. I thought they had a good showing, and since then they've been on a hot run. What could you tell us about Seattle, and why the hell are they still alive?
Well, the big thing is depth, as you alluded to a little bit there. Depth is a huge part of this team. Also, the fact that this team has basically been the same lineup. A lot of these players were on that Champions League winning team in 2022. They just it's in the culture. I think in yesterday's game, I think there were 7 of the 11 starters who came up through the homegrown system and through the reserves. And that's kind of how we do things here. Brian Schmetzer literally has been a Seattle Sounder since 6 months before I was born. I'm 44 years old. He signed for the club as a teenager in 1980. He's been the coach.
Oh, you weren't exaggerating.
No, I'm not even joking here.
Okay.
He is the through line in Seattle soccer. And that's one thing that this club does really well, is this culture of giving a shit. You will never see this team quit on a game. And but the thing about that is that when you look at these players, look at the effort that Paul Rothrock made on the first goal yesterday. How many players follow up that shot from all the way over on the wing to create something out of nothing? That was just pure effort. Go ahead,
But
Chris.
yesterday's game, I saw the highlights, Nicholas. LA Galaxy's defense, their back line, were all sleeping all game. That defense was atrocious.
I mean, De Rosario's goal, which you've got to have the gumption to try that move. But what is LA Galaxy doing there? He looked like a man among boys there. And that's supposed to be, a veteran defense. Yeah.
No, it's been terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, so coming back to your thing, it's tough because we're without Nuhu, we're without Stefan Fry, our starting goalkeeper, Albert Rusnak, our DP, Jordan Morris, our DP, Ryan Kent, who a Liverpool product, who is showing some really great flashes on the wing, and then Paul Areola, who was a former DP in previous stops in MLS, all out with injury. And yet we're still averaging over 2.6 goals a game since the Club World Cup in 14 games. I don't get it. You got me. I don't know how we're doing that either. It's just amazing.
But Nuhu basically took himself out by super kicking Gabriel Peck.
Okay. That's not quite how that went down. It's a red.
That was a drop kick.
It's a red.
Like a complete
Peck
drop kick.
ran into, knew who's coming to the sidelines to clear that ball. He clears the ball, and like a step later, Peck basically takes advantage of the situation and runs through it. With that said, Nuhu cannot put his foot up in the air. Yes. Yeah. So it's a red, period.
Yeah.
But Peck was very savvy in how to get that call.
I don't know. I saw the pictures afterwards. I don't know if he was looking for that contact. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, he looked like he was fighting for a WWF Intercontinental Championship. Is what he looked like.
I saw. Yeah. Yeah. We need some more drops of the Macho Man on here. All right. So Seattle depth, obviously, next man up mentality, working great. So plug and play. But what is the gameplay for Seattle? Are you guys pressing high? Do you guys sit in a low block? Like, what's the game plan? What are we looking at when we play against Seattle on Sunday?
Well, typically the Sounders will make you play their style. They're a high possession team.
Okay.
They're a high possession team and a high pressing team. That's when they've been at their best success, is when they don't give you a chance to think. The Sounders historically up to this year have always been known as a very stout defensive team.
Mhm.
And I mean, our back four of Yamar, Reagan, Nuhu, and Alex Roldan have and Stephen Fry have been that back four for 5 years now. So I mean, they've just had so many games together that they just know what they're doing.
Right.
But that's also what Brian Schmetzer demands out of even his forwards and his attacking players is a defensive mindset. And you see those players. De Rosario, as the striker, is making runs all the way back into the other box to defend it. That's just part of the reason why De La Vega wasn't getting as much playing time last season to start, besides injury, is he wasn't giving that defensive effort to the same degree as some of the other players.
So you guys play a high press, but you don't really get beat on the counter because everybody is so savvy and gets back defensively.
Well, it helps that you have the arguably top two center back pairing in the league between Jackson Reagan and Yamar. Last season, Yamar was a best 11 defender. Last season, Jackson Reagan was a finalist for Defender of the Year. So I don't know how that works, where one gets best 11, one gets finalist as one of the three best defenders in the league, but doesn't make best 11.
Right.
They're just very, very talented. And then, of course, you got young Obed Vargas and Christian Roldan, who's got a resurgence in the midfield there, the defensive midfield, just balling out. So with that, they all have this engine that doesn't quit. And that goes a long way to prevent those counters.
I have a question here. Looking back from June until now, you guys have had 9 red cards in the last 2 months and change. Tell me how you guys are going to be able to finish the game with 11 players.
Well, Nuhu, who's the recipient of 3 of those red cards, is not in the game.
Yeah.
But so much of it has been self-inflicted. Being on a yellow, taking your shirt off after you score a goal. Bye. Nuhu getting involved in throwing a ball at a fan. What
interesting.
Yeah. What are we doing here? But in a vacuum, a good majority of those reds are understandable, but there's been probably about maybe 3 or 4 of those that are just what are you doing?
Like the Mazovsky?
Well, Musovsky and Nuhu. We're missing 2 players. Our starting striker, because Jordan Morris is out, who's got 15 goals all comps, and our best 1v1 defender, who you think might be good to have in a game like this, and both of them are out due to self-inflicted mistakes. So, but I caution you to get too excited. We got a little cocky in the 2020 MLS Cup against Columbus when Columbus lost a lot of their starting players due to COVID leading up to the game, and they ran our ass over the field in Columbus. So, I'll share this little stat for you as well. Sounders, in their history, when they have 60,000 fans or more, are 7-0-1. They have never lost. They've had 7 wins, no losses, and a draw when playing with over 60,000 fans. That's gonna be a challenge for you. Lumen Field this season, we are 8-1-4 in leagues play. The one loss being against Minnesota, who that game was just weird. From the 51st through the 58th minute, 4 goals were scored between the 2 teams. Just a weird game. We lost 3-2. Outside of that, we are 13 wins, 1 loss, and 5 draws, all competitions at home. Obviously, I am omitting the 3 Club World Cup games because that's I mean, if you want to call it 13 wins, 4 losses, but let's be honest here. So it's going to be a fortress.
Well, luckily
Well,
Miami
I mean, a
did
fortress
play
with
in.
a lot of Messi fans, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. That's going to be a big draw for sure. But the energy in this stadium when Champions League final, there were a good amount of Pumas fans, and that energy was there, and we were pretty loud. Yeah.
Well, you
Luckily,
guys are some of the
Miami
best fans that I've seen for sure. Go ahead.
Miami
Danny.
has played in big stadiums so far. I mean, they went and they played in Cleveland Brown Stadium. They played in the Chiefs Stadium last year against Kansas City. In the preseason, they went ahead and it was in Peru. Was it Honduras that they played in some big stadiums that were packed. So they've luckily got experience because the Messi, Suarez, and all of them are accustomed to that. The worries about the other guys that aren't, but throughout the last 2 years, they've gotten some experience playing in those atmospheres. Now I know a little much. Just really
Yeah, Danny's chopping up.
Okay, it wasn't me. I'm like, is it me or is it you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I thought it was probably all of our internet because it's just been flaky.
We're going full
Danny,
Atari
go ahead and finish
2600.
Go ahead and finish
I don't know.
the last.
I don't know where I left off.
You
But,
left off with experience. You had experience. A lot of players with experience, but not a final.
Right. So I know the final can be a little more pressure, but I think that everybody's going to be ready for it.
That's a really great counterpoint because usually in these previous 8 games, one of the things that we haven't had is the opposing team used to such a large crowd. So will that counter it? Who knows? Maybe I got to set that up on our podcast, a little computer glitching and use that as a donation call. I love that.
Well, I finally got my mic fixed, which
Yeah.
has been an issue for the last 6 months. And then last week, I finally got it fixed, and now it's my internet. So
shout out to Xavier there. That is a great comment. Oh, so
his
good.
CD is almost up.
the free trial.
His AOL CD is free
You
trial
got
CD.
mail.
You need to go run and steal some more. Yeah, you got mail.
I do wonder though how many people can identify the startup dial-up sound and know exactly what that is.
Oh, that's a
we're getting
magic
old.
sound.
We're getting old.
Well, I mean, look at that. Danny's inserting the disc as we speak. I have a question while he's over there recharging in some way, shape, or form. What players should we look out for when we play against you guys, since you got 4 or 5 players that are not playing, and tell me why is it this guy? Because he is majestic. This guy right here,
Andrew Thomas.
Yes.
So Andrew Thomas, born in Russia, lived in England. His dad was I think was involved in the government in some way. He will be the starting goalkeeper for this game. Stephen Fry, nothing about Stephen Fry. It's that in the Sounders, Andrew Thomas is the heir apparent to Stephen Fry when he eventually steps down. But Leagues Cup is Andrew Thomas's tournament. No matter what happens, it's his tournament, start to finish. And I'll let you in on a little secret. Last year, so I'm on the Sounders Alliance Council. I meet with the club every month to help shape policy. Last year, Andrew Thomas came into one of our meetings, and we just had a good hour and a half long chat. And for about 60 minutes of that chat, we were just talking the theory of penalties. And it was very enlightening. It was just so great to hear from someone who's on, this elite level of competitiveness. And so we have a lot of faith in Andrew Thomas when it comes to penalties. And he's, I'm looking forward to one day when he is our starting goalkeeper. But Stephen Fry is an all-time legend.
So he is not an American that smokes 5 Marlboros at once before the game. Be- because he is the kind of goalie. Like to
So
me,
good.
there's him,
Need a
there's
cowboy hat.
Brady, there's Joe Willis. Like those three goalies, I need them on my team. Stat immediately.
Yeah, they have a vibe. They have an aura for sure.
Yes, and he plays. He's a very sort of animated person at the goalkeeper position. So I love that.
Yeah, did you see him call his shot on that final penalty save against Puebla?
No. Oh yes,
Okay.
yes. That's
Yeah,
right.
so
He did. He did.
leading up,
Yes.
he's talking to
As
the
he was
fans behind
approaching
him
the
like,
goal.
"No, don't worry, I
Yeah.
got this." And as soon as he makes a save, he turns to them and says, "I told you I got this." And I'm just like, that is a baller move.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Rick A saying he looks like he can squeeze two rocks and make lemonade with his bare hands. Who else should we watch out for
mean,
this
obviously-
game, since we're kind of limited a little bit?
So Pedro de la Vega, Argentine number 10. We got him from
He's a
Lanús
beast.
last year. He's been on a tear. He had that amazing Golazo, the Puskás Award finalist potentially against Cruz Azul to cap off that 7-0 win. He's been just on a tear, and the change for him has been moving him from the right wing, where he's been playing for most of his Sounders tenure, to moving him to the left wing, which is his natural position. And when we move Pedro to the left wing, it's unlocked the thing. Now, the caveat is Pedro rarely goes a full 90. Pedro usually gets subbed off around the 65th minute. Now, the Sounders are very big on data science. So I don't know if that's an injury prevention thing. I don't know if they'll let the reins off in a game like this. I have no idea what to expect there. But Pedro de la Vega, that would be a big shout there. The other one is a little bit of a dark horse, is Paul Rothrock. And not
I
so
love
much
Paul
for
Rothrock.
scoring goals or assists, but if you
Yeah,
watch
he's
any
awesome.
game of Paul Rothrock, he is the shit stirrer of the Sounders. We don't often have those kind of players, maybe not since Clint Dempsey, but he is someone who these comments are gold. I love you guys. Keep them up. It's so good.
They're amazing.
But Paul Rothrock he drew a yellow yesterday for no apparent reason. He got fouled, got up and didn't make contact with the other player, but the ref was just like, "We're not having this. I'm going to give you both a yellow." So that clearly tells me that Rothrock and him were battling and jawing at each other before that, and he wanted to, cut that out before it escalated. So, do you have on your team someone who's quick-tempered, someone who's easily baited into cards? Because that's the guy that Paul Rothrock's gonna feast on.
Jordi Alba.
Well, I mean, Paul
and they're on the
Paul
same
Rothrock
side.
is playing. Yeah, they're playing on the same side, so it's a little feisty there. So that might be
Jordi Alba's choked a couple people. He's put his hands around a couple necks since he's been here.
That'll be interesting here. I mean, it's Suarez. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, but they won't interact too much.
So ultimately it's going to be, I think I wouldn't sleep on Jesus Ferreira either, because he's going to be playing in the 10 role. And lately he's been just unlocking that. It's just such a shame that we're not seeing these two teams at full strength. Maybe we will later in the season. But right now we're not. And but at the same time, I don't think that this is an obvious, clear winner in this one.
It's got to be frustrating. No, not yet. Go ahead, Danny,
Okay.
before you disconnect from Net Zero CDs.
Okay. No. Go ahead. See what you're gonna say. I wasn't sure if you had.
No. I was just gonna ask if Ferreira must be like just a player that's so hard to watch because he's so good, but it seems like he's very inconsistent.
Well, any team, any player integrating with a new team, you're going to have to learn the tendencies. I mean, you're seeing that right now with Rodrigo. I heard you talking earlier about where's his best position. Is he just getting in the way?
Yeah.
You're seeing that in LAFC with Bouanga and Sun. That's just part of the nature of the game. But it seems like Jesus is really starting to get that together. And that's really part of the reason why Pedro de la Vega's moved over to the left, because he started to come to his own on the right, unlocking that. And then, of course, we get another injury and then a red card and another red card. At some point, we're going to get burned. Is it this Sunday? I don't know, but I know the team's going to be playing with a lot of confidence, and why wouldn't they? And that's dangerous, you know. I think I wonder if Miami's coming into this with more pressure than Seattle.
Oh, absolutely. We have to win.
A little bit, yeah.
And I think that plays right into Seattle.
Well, Nicholas, I don't know if betting is illegal in Washington, but
Some spots.
okay. Hypothetically, let's say you're a degenerate gambler.
Okay.
And you, for some reason, decide to put the house on Miami. You just had a gut feeling. Literally bet your house on Miami. And then it's game day. And you're on your way to the stadium. And you start getting a little nervous. You start getting little butterflies in your stomach. You know, maybe I made a mistake. So I got to make sure that I don't lose my house. So you go up to Mascherano, because for some reason you have access to him. And you whisper in his ear, "This is how you beat Seattle." What are you telling him?
Am I? Oh, wait. I'm trying to tell him the actual truth. I'm not trying to game the system.
No, because you got the
This
house.
is my house.
The
My
house is
house.
online.
Okay, I'm
Need to keep the
following. I'm
house.
picking up where you're.
Come on.
Picking up your.
You don't want to lose. You got
I don't know. We got some mighty fine cardboard up here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I mean, good luck. When it gets cold, you're going to be living like Danny is in 56K right now.
I can hear his router spinning. Feed your hamsters a little bit. You know, that might help. You know, get that going.
Get that wheel turning.
So, I would probably say keep possession. You know, Seattle is a team that thrives on possession, thrives on dictating how play is going to be. If the Sounders are chasing Messi and friends in this game, then Messi and the Barca boys, as people like to say, then we're gonna have some problems, you know, and then fatigue's gonna come in, because right now with this lineup, if we can't get those goals in the first 65 minutes, it's gonna be some tough shoveling to get to those goals. So, well, I mean, defensively we're very solid, but you saw it with Orlando. They had to open the game up, and Miami just picked them apart. Those last two goals were basically copy paste repeats of each other. Nice tiki-taka, right? It just well done, just well executed. But one thing Seattle does really well is pass under pressure, and that's been a really good point this year. So we'll see how that matches up. How's your defense this year? Has it gotten better than last year?
No.
Well, I mean, it's just as good as his internet. That's for sure.
Basically,
Danny, you are.
spotty.
I don't know.
All right, real quick. I'm gonna have to
Are
bow
you
out because it
connected
keeps
to the
freezing.
McDonald's Wi-Fi?
Can you hear me right now?
We can, yeah.
Okay, real
Yes.
quick. I'm gonna give you my prediction before you get 2-0 batterfans.com villains 20 promo code for 20% off of batterfans.com. I'm gonna go restart my 56K modem because I don't know what's going on. I'll be back if you guys aren't done by then. I gotta go restart this thing because it's driving me crazy. Hopefully I am back before then. But yes, 2-0 is my prediction, and maybe I can explain it later.
Okay, and so to answer some of these questions in the comments, yes, it will be turf. Nuhu will not be in the final. Neither will Danny Musovsky. So that will not happen there. So we're looking at likely our third string center forward, who was signed to the first team from USL Pro earlier this year, Osaze de Rosario, son of MLS legend and former MVP Dwayne de Rosario. The thing about De Rosario is he missed a couple chances yesterday, but he did finish a big one. He's got a big hulking body. That's something that we don't really have as the Sounders, that attacker that has that kind of physical presence. We haven't had that in quite some time. But think kind of a Josie Altidore type of frame. And so that might give some problems to the back four of Miami. We'll see. Okay, so we get a lot of Miami. Okay.
I mean, look, Kenny Slaughter saying 2-0 Sounders.
Mr. Krabs, I'm very comfortable here in the Pacific Northwest. We we're very inclusive here. So yeah, tickets are going for 125. The lower tickets were available earlier in the week for 60, 65, 35 for the supporter section. Tickets have gone up. It is a cup final. So yeah, they're looking, last time I checked, the tickets were right around 55,000 right now, ballpark. Do I like the gatekeeping MLS fans? That's a great question. I don't. I am an all-inclusive kind of person. It's one of the things that I do have a problem with in the U.S. national team picture. It's very toxic at times, and that really bums me out. I was a former president of American Outlaws Seattle, and it can be very toxic in that. And it's just such a bummer because, hey, everyone that's watching this show loves soccer. And we're all in this together. We all want soccer to grow in the country. And I think a question that I don't think we really got to earlier, but it sounded like the question that was coming about, what do I think as an outsider about Miami? Are they getting the breaks? Are they getting the favors? And sometimes the loan situations, it raises an eyebrow. It raised an eyebrow when LAFC was doing it. However, if that's what it takes to get the MLS ownership to change the roster rules, to kind of take off the training wheels and allow teams to build rosters the way they want, then I'm okay with it in the short term. I think of it as a necessary evil. That's how the team evolved. When LA signed Omar Gonzalez, and that was the first TAM player because they didn't have a DP spot. Then all of a sudden you have all these TAMs and all these new roster methodologies. That's how growth happens. The youth DP situation, all of that. Just it's time to cut the cable, and I think that's potentially going to happen with the new labor agreement, which expires, I believe, in 2027. So I expect that'll be around the time where things like that get negotiated, as well as a move to the winter to summer or winter to spring calendar.
Well, and let me give let me just answer this question right before I go ahead and give my prediction. Arbe is asking, will the finals be a sold out stadium? I definitely think so, because Seattle shows out regardless of the opponent. So imagine now versus who's touted to be the biggest team in the MLS. I think absolutely it's going to be sold out without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, I'm taking a look right now, and as of this morning, nothing in the 300 was open. Then around 11 o'clock, 9 sections on the east side were open. Then about 11 sections on the east side, and then 11 sections on the west side. And when I'm looking at the inventory, that basically everything between the end lines, goal line to goal line, are sold out. So now we're starting to work towards those corners. Depending on if the club continues to price those at 120, if they keep going with that 120, 130 for those seats, we're probably not going to sell out. But if they drop those to 80, then I think we will see a sellout there. But yeah.
I'm going to mention something. Danny, you predicted a shutout, a 2-0. There's no way I'm going with the shutout with our goalkeeper. I think it's going to be 2-1. Inter Miami squeak out a win.
I think it's going to be 0-0.
Did you give your prediction already, Nick?
I have not yet. I have not.
Okay,
I
nice.
I 0-0. You think so? We'll go straight to penalties.
So,
No, that's what you're
no.
saying, Daniel.
I say it's gonna go 0-0 to like the 65th,
Oh, okay.
70th minute, and then Miami will finally squeak one in, and then they'll get one really late when Seattle finally has to just chase the game. That's why I say 2-0, but I think it's gonna be 0-0 for most of the game. I think Miami will get one really late, but it won't end 1-0 because Seattle will have to open it up. And you saw what happened when Orlando opened it up yesterday. So that's why I say 2-0. I think that'll be the final score.
Interesting. Now, I just don't. Looking at our recent history in big games, when we open up the full stadium for finals at home, we're throwing a 3 spot against Pumas, against Toronto. I think we're good for, even with this depleted offensive lineup, we still have enough talent to at least get 1, possibly 2, depending on how this game plays out. I hope and I think that these two teams will not play cynically. I think this will be kind of a relatively open soccer match. I don't get the sense that either team is going to be I know the Sounders are not going to be conservative. We didn't do it against PSG. We didn't do it against Atletico Madrid. That's not what we do. We play our style. We're not going to play negative soccer. And that's one thing that I'm very grateful for.
So it's not going to be boring.
No, I don't think so. What I really hope, though, is I hope that we get a ref who understands the magnitude of a final and sets whatever that tone is, that all the players know what that tone is. Whether it's going to be letting things go physically or calling things tight, just whatever. Just as long as it's not all over the place where you're like nothing, then a phantom red card out of nowhere for something that was less egregious than a first half tackle. That's just what I want. Let's have a well officiated game. Let's let the players decide, because if they do that, this could be a hell of a showcase. So we'll see. But so my prediction, though, I am going to say that it's going to be 2-2 late, and then 2-2 late, and then Sounders win it, as long as they're attacking the Brougham end in the second half. They're attacking the Brougham end and running towards the supporters and coming towards the supporters, attacking this direction. We're going to win that. We're going to win that 3-2. If we're not attacking the Brougham end in the second half, then we lose either 3-2 or 2-2 in penalties.
How you
if we play in penalties, then
how would you feel? Yeah.
I mean, well, before you answer that, Nicholas, just know that you have this.
As I said, penalties. As I said that, I cringed because I realized, wait, we got Andrew Thomas in goal. Because Aria, I do. The direction actually matters for us. We've looked at I've crunched the numbers. I'm a data analytics geek. Crunched the numbers a couple years ago from 2009 on how many goals were scored going towards the supporters and going away from the supporters, and there was a significant difference.
So you score more going towards the supporters?
Yeah.
Indeed. So so if it goes to penalties, oh man, that's gonna be just nervy, because I'll be right there in the supporters section, that's never fun. Once again, your comment section is just great today. Hats off to you.
It's the best. It's the best. I put it up against any podcast in any sport. I think our chat is the best.
This is a good question from Jonathan. How would Seattle feel if they lost? Would it be a big hit or just a small bummer? We're in a final. We never want to lose. I think both fan bases have that in common, where we're really quick to say the sky is falling when results don't go our way, when basically 27 of the other teams would trade places with us in a heartbeat. But it can be easily understood with, we're kind of playing with house money to a degree with the number of, issues we got to fight right now with our injuries, our red cards. It's going to be tough, but I believe this team can do it.
And you're already in the Champions Cup, which is a win in itself.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that is a big part of that. That monkey's off our backs. Both of us will be in Champions Cup next year. However, the winner of this game not only gets that fancy Leagues Cup trophy, which I might say is the only trophy we don't own in North American competitive soccer. It's the only trophy we don't have.
Flex.
Got the
Nice
rest.
flex.
But with that in mind, the winning team will get a bye into the round of 16. That's not insignificant. Especially
not big. You don't play in the preseason.
Man, so many times we've lost players to year-end injuries in those early round games, including Jordan Morris, Paul Areola this year. It's just rough. But yeah, what I'm really curious though about with Pedro de la Vega is he's an Argentine himself. Will that give him an extra oomph in his step playing against? I just got to make the assumption one of his heroes. Unless
you would assume.
Let's make an assumption here.
Yeah.
He was getting call-ups with the youth Argentine team, and I think he got a call-up with the full team before he did. He had a major injury a couple years ago, and that's kind of how we were able to get him for $8 million instead of $20 million.
Chris, did you give your prediction already?
Yeah, I did. It's going to be 2-1.
2-1, okay. So I said 2-0, you said 2-1. Nick said 2-2 and possibly 3-2 Seattle.
You know, I can't take two things. I'm going to say, because usually we are attacking the Broman in the second half. I'm going to assume we will for this one. I'm saying 3-2, a late winner for the Sounders, where they just jump into the stands, into the Broman. I'll have my arms ready for a big old hug. Look for me, right side of the net. And we'll, I'll wink to you guys. I'll wink and wave. How's that?
Yeah, well, that's how we are. Me and Chris and I are on the left side. We were talking about, me and Nick were talking about that. We have basically the same type of view.
It was fun looking at your photos from game days. It's very, very similar.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So, Nick, before we get off of here, any traditions, because we haven't spoken to somebody from Seattle, any traditions from Seattle that we might want to, that we don't know about, maybe during the game, before the game, that are interesting?
We have so many traditions. I mean,
interesting. Okay.
Emerald City supporters have been around even before MLS. I'm wearing an ECS shirt right here. We've been around since 2007.
Oh, you just gotta rub it more in the history, the culture.
Hey, culture's got to begin somewhere. Got to begin somewhere. You've got a beautiful stadium. It's got to start somewhere. Why not here? Why not now? Yeah. But we traditionally do a march to the match. The boom boom clap, which some people call the Icelandic clap. However, keep in mind that ECS was doing it before Iceland in the 2010 Euros. So, let's just kind of call a spade a spade. But then again, it's soccer. Everyone steals from everyone else. We steal from people.
The chants are all similar.
It's true.
Across the world, yeah.
It's true. We do not have Grasshoppers food. Our food is not as good as the Mariners. The Mariners do have a really great food cuisine inside the stadium. In the 11th minute, we sing Roll On Columbia, which is a folk song from Woody Guthrie. This is one that no one else steals because it's about the Columbia River, which is local to Seattle, but it also honors our first goal scorer, Freddie Montero from Columbia. And so we sing Roll On Columbia in the 11th minute.
Because that's when he scored the first goal?
That's when he scored the first goal against New York Red Bull in 2009.
That's interesting. I like that.
And so that's a fun one that we really love. And so we, we're just very proud of our traditions, but most importantly, we're still recognizing that we are all not here. That people who should be in these stadiums are scared to go to games right now. We are an inclusive community. We call ourselves anti-fascist, anti-racist, always Seattle. We believe that, and I know Miami has a lot of very similar beliefs and things. Not to get political on a soccer podcast, but soccer is inherently political. It's a people's game, and we stand with those and for those who can't be there in the stadium with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it sucks.
Heard it always rains.
Rick A with a 199.
Keep thinking that
it does rain.
No, not from basically June to October. It's the best weather in the country. We get all 4 seasons in Seattle, but without the heavy rain or the heavy winter and the heavy summer. It's a beautiful, 80 degrees right now, not too hot. I think
Nice.
80
Washington
degrees, I'm jealous.
has
It's
the
a scorcher down here.
Washington has the least amount of air conditioners in the country. I think about 54% of homes have air conditioners.
What?
Do you know how many escalators
What?
are in the? Do you know how many escalators are in the state of what was
Montana,
it?
Wyoming,
Wyoming. Yeah.
two. I'm a trivia guy. I love trivia. Let's do this. No, hey,
Rick A.
it is
Well,
great. Thanks
just
so
real
much
quick.
for having me on this. Yeah.
Rick A saying 199 Super Slam. What's going on with a watch party happening? I wasn't planning a watch party, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, we
I
can.
don't
We
know
usually
about
do it
you,
for the big
Danny. What do you
games.
think?
We usually do it for the big games. We did it for the Champions Cup. We could talk about it. We haven't done one in a while. Maybe. All right.
You'll find out when we find out.
Nicholas, much appreciated for joining us. Please let everybody know where they could find you.
You can find me at the Seattle Sounders Scuttlebutt podcast. You can find me on Instagram is kind of where I do most of my social media at Cascades2C. I'll post that in the comments real quick. That is my primary. It would probably help if I didn't misspell it. That's what happens when you try and talk and type at the same time. Cascades2C. There we go. By the way, just for all you listeners, just a reminder that coming up in about 11 days will be the lottery sign-up period for World Cup tickets.
Nice.
The first wave will be Visa card holders. I don't know how it is going to be for Miami, but I do know for Seattle. I spoke with the president of Seattle FIFA last week, and they expect tickets to be sold in a strip. So you can get a ticket for all the games, and then individual games might go on sale. So just kind of keep a close eye on that and go to FIFA.com, I think, /tickets if you have not already done so, because it's going to be a bit of a shit show trying to get tickets to the World Cup, I think. But
It sucks that the prices are going to be ridiculously expensive.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Do we just run through these, Danny, real quick?
Sure. I mean, I got 2 minutes before I got to jump on another show, but sure, go for it.
Yes. And by the way, guys, I'm also going to be jumping on a Sounders podcast after this. So make sure to follow and we're going to have some fun. Let's see here. Jeez, I can't. Okay. I'm just going to ask a series of questions. We're going to make it quick because Danny looks like he's timing out as we speak. You got to make a choice here when it comes to steak and toast. What choices are you making?
Definitely on the 1 to 2 range there. 1 to 2, and for toast, probably a 3. My wife's a chef.
Nice.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. When you got to cut your sandwich, which way are you cutting it? North to south or diagonally?
I'm going north to south.
Yeah. Look at that, Danny. We got a winner, baby.
But it's not because it has more crust, because that's Chris's defense.
I see, rationally speaking, there is a little bit more crust. Moving on. I go grocery shopping, and sometimes I hold the car from the front here, Nick. But some people hold the car from the back. So which one are you? Are you a pusher or a puller?
I'm flexible. It all depends on context.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
You got to bend those corners.
Okay.
You got to use that.
Go
All
for
right.
efficiency.
Now, Nicholas, you're
To the beat.
yes. Now we're pretty close in age, so you got to make a really big life decision here. When it comes to musical boy bands, are you going Backstreet Boys or are you going NSYNC?
I think, Backstreet Boys were my first one. Used to work in radio in the 90s, so Backstreet Boys were the first group that I played on the air.
Oh man. That's crazy. NSYNC is so much better.
No, Justin Timberlake is better. This is what you don't understand. That's the only reason people choose NSYNC.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well,
Don't do
Nick,
that.
again, we appreciate you hanging out with us. It's much appreciated. The worst of luck to you on Sunday, and I hope you have a miserable time at the stadium.
You know, that's fair. That's fair. See you in Champions League next year.
Yeah, well, we'll see you in a couple
We'll
weeks.
see you in a couple weeks. Yeah, that's true as well. You know, I actually like this because both fan bases get to see the teams play against each other, so it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, only Miami and Vancouver have a further distance from each other, I believe,
Not
in
much.
this league.
It's a 2-hour drive.
Right, so we don't see each other very often. If you're listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as always, for those of you in the chat, you guys are the best part of the show. We appreciate you hanging out with us for the last hour. You guys, as always, are the best. I apologize for my poor connection. I swear I went on the roof, I fixed the antennas, and I think it's a little better now. So I think we should be cooking from here on out. So we will be back on Sunday, whether it be the watch party, watch along, whatever, or post game. We'll be back on Sunday in one capacity or another. But regardless, we appreciate you guys. And until the next one, have a good one.